Over the weekend, while Martin Luther King III was in Arizona rallying to expand voting rights, Donald Trump was the same day in the same state doing the exact opposite, continuing to push his big lie.
Last year we had a rigged election and the proof is all over the place. They always talk about the big lie. They're the big lie.
There's a reason Trump was in Arizona: to push the legislature to disenfranchise the state's voters based on all of his deranged election lies.
Hopefully, the Attorney General and your state legislatures will be smart and fair and decisive and let the world know what the hell happened in Arizona.
Steve Bannon says this is part of a nationwide effort to hurt Biden going into the midterms.
Decertify Biden electors in Arizona, in Wisconsin, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, in the great state of Georgia. Those 4 states, we are going to decertify all those electors.
Of course, there is no way in the Constitution to actually do that. And of course, this is not just about 2020 or 2022. Trump, the day before, delivered a message to a county Republican party in Pennsylvania. Pay attention to this part.
We have to be a lot sharper the next time when it comes to counting the vote. There's a famous statement: sometimes the vote counter is more important than the candidate, and we can't let that ever happen again. They have to get tougher and smarter.
Democrats are very focused right now on Capitol Hill about beating back Republican efforts at the state level that make it tougher to vote. And while it's true many of those efforts are predicated on Trump's big lie, the focus of the seditious conspiracy we all witnessed was more focused on the counting, not the casting, of the votes. Because when Trump says, quote, we have to be a lot sharper the next time when it comes to counting the vote, unquote, it's pretty clear he means stop counting the votes when he's up, and when Democrats are on the lead, vote counters need to find votes for him, as he instructed Georgia Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to do.
There's nothing wrong with saying that, that you've recalculated. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have.
Now, this plan to put loyalists in key positions where they can do this for him is going on right now, with Trump-backed candidates for governor, Secretary of State, and more in key states. And there are also more organic, lower-level efforts as well for adherents of the big lie to slip into key posts. Edward McAlanis of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, was running for local judge of elections until his campaign hit something of a snag. He was charged with 4 offenses related to his role in the January 6 attack on the Capitol. He entered into a plea deal. In Pennsylvania, January 6 rally attendee Stephen Lindemuth, who has not been charged with the crime, won his race to be the Mount Joy Township judge of elections. Senator Marco Rubio, Republican of Florida, a few days ago condemned the events of January 6 as a terrible thing that never should have happened, but he also suggested the anniversary was getting too much attention, and he seemed to downplay its seriousness.
You're not going to convince at least most normal and sane people that our government last year was almost overthrown by a guy wearing a Viking hat and Speedos.
Senator Rubio is correct. Our government was not almost overthrown by a guy wearing a Viking hat and Speedos. It was almost overthrown by armed, violent extremists, 11 of whom have now been charged with seditious conspiracy, and by others in the Trump administration and in positions of power throughout the country, seeking to invalidate election results based on the wild lies of an unhinged team of conspiracy theories, and by MAGA media that spread those lies, and by more than 140 House and Senate Republicans who voted to disenfranchise all the voters of Arizona and Pennsylvania. And make no mistake, the conspiracy could have worked, and it might work next time. Pay attention to who they're lining up to count the votes. And on this Martin Luther King Day weekend, think about whose votes they don't want to count.